So this piece, I used the white and black of the acrylics there. Americana colors. Sour apple's one of my favorite. The bright orange, and then the lemon yellow, I believe. Yeah, and that was the Alizarin crimson. So this actually turned out to be one of my most favorite of my recent paintings I've done. This was obviously, I didn't like this one, so I'm kind of repouring it. I just didn't like the big blob of blue there. Anyway, just didn't really like it. But, so I poured over. I actually just kind of adding a little bit of water in my colors because they've kind of been sitting for a little while, so they kind of thicken back up a little bit. So, yeah, just making sure there, which I should have done this before, but if I was smart, I would have put it down in front of the camera where you could actually see what I was doing. But I like my paints to be pretty thin. I tend to get better results, I guess, more reactions when my paints are a little bit thinner. I don't generally do the dirty cut pours. Usually use like a thicker paint for that. But for the puddle pours, I like to use thinner paint because it does react. They do react better with each other when you do that. So, okay, so here we go with the pouring. I had 5 colors, but with these bigger pieces, I usually do like, more puddles anyway, just because you get more coverage with the colors. But I like to do one puddle for each color when I use a lot of colors because I like to kind of keep it even. I'm kind of weird like that, I guess. And sometimes I'll try to do spontaneous stuff, but I'm kind of strange about having it just right and everything matching and blah blah blah. But anyway, so here you'll just see me keep pouring colors. For some reason, this little editor won't go any faster than 2 times speed, so we're just kind of stuck at this speed, which I guess isn't too bad, but it does take a while. I like to pour my white kind of from up high like that because it kind of, I don't know if you can see in the bottom left there in that blue, it just kind of mixes with the blue a little bit better, so you don't just get that, you get some reactions that way, some additional reactions, which I like those. So yeah, just continuing on with the colors. Every once in a while, like the black will get thick really easily. The white also, but not quite as bad as the black. And I didn't really want much black in this at all, so I did very small amounts. I think I only layered in like 2 times, with little tiny puddles in there. But if I add, black tends to take over and can sometimes make those bright, beautiful colors kind of muddy. But sometimes black, you can get some really good effects with the black also. So I do kind of throw it in there, very little bit with some of the brighter colored paintings. Most of the time I won't add it all, but I wanted to see, if any of it would show up in this, if I just used it a little bit. See, I like how I see how that white kind of mixes. I like that because that'll give me kind of a pink color too. And with these larger canvases, you really have to use a lot of paint. I guess I don't measure how much I use. I just kind of take a wild guess at it because I don't, it takes long enough as it is, and I never know exactly how much, but I just kind of take a wild guess, and I guess that just kind of comes with the experience and how much you've done it. You just kind of get to know how much you'll need for each size painting. It's better to pour a little bit more than what you think you'll need, just in case, than to not have enough, because then you'll have to stop and mix more color, or you know, add a different color that she didn't really want in there. Just, I mean, so it's better just to have more than what you think you'll actually need, because a lot of times you'll end up using it anyway. So, and if you're going to do a painting right after, you can always use those leftover paints for that. If it's, you know, so looks like I'm about finished up with the colors here. I'm just trying to use my last little bit. Let's see. And then instead of using my finger lately, I've just been using the end of a paintbrush to kind of run lines through those puddles to kind of mix them just a little bit. I think if using my finger it can kind of muddy them up. I think it just kind of does too much mixing in there. So I've been using the paintbrush, and I think that does really well. Maybe on the larger canvases like this one, it wouldn't really be too bad to use my finger, but on the smaller pieces, I think that, you know, it does kind of, there's the paintbrush. I think it does kind of make a big difference on a smaller piece, but not so bad in here. It's showing the little, I guess it's kind of hard to see at this angle. I just don't have the right equipment, I guess you could say, to set it up to where you see the view from above. So here, I'm going to show you the time lapse, and this time lapse is actually really, really well. You can see the movement, and most of that white just kind of disappears, but it looks like all the colors flow towards the middle. I hope you like it.